Welcome back to another build video. This build is the Orpheus rig tether build that has been all over Onslaught, has been absolutely destroying everything, both legend and normal difficulties. It offers very fast super regen, a lot of crowd control, and it's good even in activities that are not Onslaught, as long as you have a lot of enemies or maybe if you just need a lot of crowd control. So starting with our subclass, we are going to be using Deadfall Shadow Shot to pair with our Orpheus Rig's Exotic. This will crowd control enemies really well. I like using Gambler's Dodge to be able to get our melee back. We got Vortex Grenade, but really any grenade can suffice. I'm using Vanishing Step in Trapper's Ambush so we can go invisible with our dodge or with our melee using the Shadow Dive mechanic. As for the fragments, we got Echo of Explosion, so that void ability final blows make targets explode, and this counts for enemies that are tethered, so it helps even more with ad clearing. Echo of Starvation, so we can get Devour from Orbs of Power. I'm using Echo of Reprisal because it gives you extra super energy when you're surrounded and you get kills. And Echo of Persistence so that our void buffs have increased duration, our Devour and our invisibility, mainly. As a quick note for this build, the artifact mods don't really matter for this build unless you would like to use a solar weapon, in which case you can totally use Rays of Precision and Flint Striker to become Radiant and to get Ignitions with Precision Final Blows. I see a lot of people using Sunshot still with this build, so that is a possibility, but I don't like doing that because I like my builds to always be viable. But for the end of the season, for this last month, this is still a good option. Now for our armor and our mods. On the helmet, I have a mod that I don't see anybody else using in this build, which is Font of Wisdom. Collecting armor power will give you an armor charge, and having an armor charge will give you increased intellect. So if you don't have very high intellect, this can help you maximize the amount of super energy you're getting, which leads you to have even more tethers. And it makes the armor charge decay, but it's really not difficult to keep picking up orbs. I also have Kinetic Siphon, but you can change that to whatever primary you're using so that you can create orbs. And an ammo finder, but feel free to change that up if you would like. You can also use something like access to assets to get more super energy or dynamo, things like that. In the gauntlets, we got Bowstring Detonation and Focusing Strike because it will be giving us more class ability energy by dealing grenade damage or damage with our melee, and that just to help us have that invisibility from Vanishing Step. And I also threw in Kinetic Loader, but you can totally change that for firepower so that our grenade kills will also create orbs of power. In the chestplate, since we're using Font of Wisdom and I'm already going to have decaying armor charges, I threw in Font of Endurance so I can have extra resilience at the same time because I don't have a lot of resilience with this armor set that I have. It's not the greatest. But if you have high resilience, do not worry about this, just throw in all the resistances and call it a day. Finally, Orpheus Rigs. So Orpheus Rigs will return super energy to you when enemies get tethered by your tether, but it is capped at 50% of your super. So once it reaches 50%, you are not going to get any more super energy from tethering enemies, which is why we have all these other forms of giving us super energy. As for the mods, I threw in Insulation, Innervation, and Absolution. All of these will give us ability energy on orb pickup, and I did class ability and grenade energy because if I have my class ability, I can just dodge to get my smoke bomb back. But feel free to change this up as you see fit. You can also throw in some surge mods for more damage, whatever you feel comfortable with here. In the cloak, I got Powerful Attraction. I love this mod. I never take it off, but if you don't care for it, feel free to change it. I got Bomber for more grenades, and Reaper to create some more orbs. But once again, feel free to change this up. This build is pretty malleable with what you want to use. Now, as for the weapons, again, you can use basically anything. I like using this Midnight Coup that I got to drop finally. With Indebted Kindness, my one weapon that I'm addicted with, I can't ever put it down. And I'm using Galahorn because it's pretty good ad clear in Onslaught specifically, but also for the Overload Rocket, so that I can have Overload, Anti-Barrier, and Unstoppable, all on my weapons. The only thing left to say about this build is that when you pop your tether, you can run right into the middle of the group of the enemies to start killing them, because we will get even more super energy from our fragment, and that will give you really fast regen of your super. And I hope you enjoyed this build, and I hope it serves you well, and I will see you in the next one.